Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing another painting tutorial, and for this day's tutorial, we'll be doing a seascape, one of my favorite subjects, and I think this will be the all-time favorite of mine. And we'll only be using a few colors today that I think most of you, if not all of you, have this already. So let me tell you the colors that we'll be using for today's painting tutorial. We'll be using a lot of titanium white, burnt sienna, cadmium yellow, black, phthalo green, phthalo blue, and ultramarine blue. Let's begin now, guys. So this will be really fun because you know how much I love painting seascapes, and it's been a while since the last time I did my seascape painting tutorial. So let's begin now. I'm gonna do the horizon first, and for that I'll be using my ultramarine blue. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of black to that. Alright, and I'm gonna start doing or identifying where the horizon is gonna go, like here. Alright, so there you go. And then as we go down, we're going to make the water light. So I'm gonna get my phthalo green plus phthalo blue and then white to create this turquoisey color. Okay, I'm gonna add more blue like this color, and I'm gonna apply it right here. You can add more water to make the paint smooth, or to make your brush strokes quite smooth. And then as we go down, we're going to make things a little lighter, so we're going to add more white and then green, tiny bit of yellow like this. It's like turquoise color here. Maybe add a little more yellow and white like that. Alright, like that. I'm gonna get more yellow right here. And then I'm gonna add some brown, or I'm gonna add burnt sienna and then white and then yellow. Okay, more white and then this mixture like that. We're going to make some suggestion of sand that is being washed away by the waters. So you're just gonna add some brown. Alright, like that. Okay, again, just burnt sienna plus white plus yellow, and then add tiny bit of turquoisey colors. Like so. Okay, I'm gonna get more white. Like that. I'm gonna wash my brush out. Let's do the sky. And I forgot to mention, guys, that we will be using a palette knife for this painting tutorial, and that is to create some foams and waves. So I'm gonna get my phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, and white. Tiny bit of black just to tone down the color. And let's create the sky now. Alright, I'm gonna add tiny bit of white near the horizon line, like that. You know, when I'm doing seascapes, I feel more free when it comes to my brush strokes. This is quite loose. Alright, so there you go, guys. So I'm gonna wash my brush out and let's go make some detailing. Okay. But first I want to make this middle part a little more greenish color. So I'm gonna get my phthalo green plus white. So it's like this. Then add yellow. Oh, that's too yellow, I think. I'm gonna add tiny bit of blue and then white. I think I already ran out of white, so I'm gonna get more white. We'll be needing a lot of white today because, you know, when I do seascapes, I always make sure that I have more foams, so that requires a lot of white. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of yellow. As you can see, my brush strokes are quite following the flow of water already. I don't make any straight line like that. My brush strokes are already following the natural movement of water. All right, like that. Okay, I'm gonna get more burnt sienna. Let's make some more browny colors down here. Just to suggest some sand. All right, like that. And wash your brush out. Now I want you to get your palette knife. Let's proceed to using our palette knives already. I'm gonna mix my white and tiny bit of black to make some gray color. We're not doing just yet the highlights. We're just trying to make some foams. We're going to highlight the foams later, but for now let's just use gray color. So I'm gonna dab on, or I'm gonna use the back of my palette knife. And let's start creating some foams. So, excuse me. I'm gonna make some circular motion or circular patterns like this. Like that. Let's just create. I understand that the paint is still wet, that's why the white does not really show. But just apply quite lightly, very gently. You don't have to dry this using a hair dryer, but try to control your application or the way you hold onto your palette knife very lightly, guys. Again, we're using gray. And I think I have to gray it a little more. Just gonna gray it a little more. Oh, this is too black. Like this. All right. Down here, it should be gray to make some depth. Like that. Okay, I'm gonna add more white this time. Let's proceed to making some waves. I'm gonna move my water bucket because it's quite blocking my way. All right, and here I'm gonna make some foams on the sandy part. All right, I'm gonna use my brush, my ordinary brush this time. So using my gray color, I'm just gonna make some markings right here, down here, to suggest more foams. But I'm using gray because we don't want to highlight the water. We will highlight it later. For now, let's just use gray again. All right, and here. Okay, I'm gonna add a tiny bit of black, make it quite dark, and then green. Let's just darken, make some depth. And here as well. Just make some dark markings because we don't want it to be super flat. We want it to have some dimension. Okay, now I'm gonna get my white, pure white, and let's start making some foams. Like that. Okay. I don't know how this looks like already from the camera, but I'm gonna take a look. But for now, let's try to create some more detailing. Phthalo green plus yellow, and then white. So we're going to create some variety of color green or blue. You know, my first ever tutorial was also Seascape. That's why I just love painting Seascape. Reminds me so much of how I started. All right, like that. So let me check from the viewpoint of the camera. All right, doesn't make sense right now because we're just what, 18 minutes 18 minutes from the beginning. We're going to make some more highlights later. For now, it's looking a little weird. All right, I'm gonna wash my brush out. Okay, I'm gonna get my phthalo green plus phthalo blue, and then yellow, and then white. Okay, we're going to darken the upper portion of the wave. Alright, like that. And the lower portion of the wave. Okay, now I'm going to use my fan brush. Going to get my white and water. Let's create some, oops. Let's create some more foams. Okay, I'm gonna get my phthalo blue. And apply some phthalo blue right here on top of our waves. Wash your out. I'm going to make some more details. I'm going to use a small brush. Let's create some dark gray color. So mix black and white. And I'm going to use this just to outline those foams, to create some shadows. That. Let's darken some corners. All right. And we will go back to our palette knife next to create some more foamy effect. So I'm gonna get my palette knife. I hope some areas are dry already. So I'm gonna dab onto my pure white. Actually, it's not really pure because of the greeny color. I just get my fresh titanium white. And we're going to make some more detailing. Like this. So just make some circular patterns to create this foamy-like or foam-like palette knife strokes. Down here. All right. Right here. I'm gonna dab onto my turquoisey greeny colors. Let's apply that on the distant waters. Like so. And I'm gonna use my small brush to create some more dark greeny colors. And then I'm gonna add tiny bit of phthalo blue plus white. It's just like light blue. Like that. Gonna make some dark browny colors. Okay, brown plus cad yellow. Let's go back to the sand part. Let's just create some random brownness. Here, I'm just gonna darken the corners. Just darken the corners to make your viewer focus a little more on the center. like that. Okay, wash your brush out. Let's go back to the sky because I think the sky needs a little more layering. Gonna add phthalo blue plus white. Just tiny bit of black. Just a little more layering because I feel like it's kind of the paint is not enough to cover the canvas. Like that. I'm gonna use white down here. Like that. And I think I have to glaze this part. I hope it's dry already. Anyway, I'm gonna glaze first the middle part because it's quite dry. So I'm gonna get my phthalo green plus white and yellow. I'm just gonna use water. For glazing purposes, you don't have to use a glazing medium for this. Just try to glaze it this way. Like that. In here, down here, like so. And then I'm gonna get my green again, phthalo green and phthalo blue. Just keep coming back to your colors, darkening the bottom portion of the wave. Here, okay, like that. Then I'm gonna get my small brush, get some white. Let's make some tiny bit of highlighting. Like that. Okay, we have to use the splash technique. So we're going to use some water and our paint brushes in doing some splashes. So I'm gonna wash my brush out, and I'm gonna get my bigger brush. Oh, not so big, but this one. And then I'm gonna dab onto my white with a lot of water. And when you do this step, make sure that you don't have anything important near you that can get painted on. So I'm gonna, yeah, set aside my phone right there and start making some droplets. I'm trying to be careful because my phone is very near me. All right. Okay, so I think that will do. I'm gonna go back to my pure white. Okay, wash your brush out. We're going to glaze now the bottom portion. I'm gonna use a little gray color for this. So white plus black. All right, let's try to gray some colors down here. But when you glaze, you don't actually paint over your what you've done. You're just trying to cover it like a translucent paper or something like that. Like that. Did you actually get what I meant when I said glaze? You don't cover it completely, making the paint still visible, even if you're physically painting over it. You're not actually covering it. Like that. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my palette knife. And make some more detailing. That's nice. I'm going to get my ultramarine blue, dab it onto my palette knife. Let's create some more details on the distant waters. So ultramarine, just get your ultramarine. Like that. And if you need to straighten your horizon, it's alright. You can do that. I'm just gonna straighten mine because I feel like it's not straight enough. All right. Some more detailing, just brown and green. Like that. Just a little more, guys. You know, I'm quite obsessive about seascapes. All right. Okay, green and then white and yellow. I'm just lightening the middle portion. You can already tell how obsessed I am. All right, this is nice. I'm gonna glaze some white colors here. And some yellows. All right. All right, yes, I think I have to sign this now, right? I have to sign this now, although those hard lines should be removed. We actually don't want that. It's like placing them there, but not making them too obvious so as to make some hard lines. We don't want that. Okay. Make some greeny colors. Right. I'm applying some gray colors, guys. Gray colors here and there. We don't want it to be super white. The highlights. There should be some sort of gray. There should be some sort of bright white. It should not be pure bright white. That's just weird. That's not how light plays. Right, that's what I'm talking about. All right. Okay, I guess I have to sign this now. So I'm just gonna use my black and sign it right here, very tiny. All right. like that. And I think we're done. We're done, guys. Yes, we're done. So see you in my next video. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll be linking somewhere up here the links to some of my videos or some of my seascapes that are most popular to you. So see you in my next video, and